Was the Rebbe involved in politics?
The Rebbe was very careful. That was very careful. There was none of it. He had opinions. The Rebbe never attached himself to a political party, ever. The Rebbe used to say, I talk about ideas, I don't talk about people. And it was true. The best example that I have for that is the Rebbe's relationship with Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is considered an anti-Semite. Everybody hates Jimmy Carter. I don't. You know why I don't? Because when Jimmy Carter became president, I was 10. When Jimmy Carter left the presidency, I was 14. I remember his presidency. He was a terrible presidency. He was a terrible president. But I remember how the Rebbe spoke about Jimmy Carter. You know, when Jimmy Carter lost to Ronald Reagan, the Rebbe spoke a sikha that people shouldn't make fun of him. Ad kedei kach. He was a bad president. But the other side, Jimmy Carter was the frummest president in my lifetime. Jimmy Carter went to church because he believed in God, not because he needed a photo op. He was a very frum Christian. It's true that what happened in the peace treaty, it became ego. He has written very anti-Semitic things. There's no question about it. Because the peace treaty became his personal legacy. Jimmy Carter's great accomplishment is to make peace between Israel and Egypt. So therefore he's on Israel for not supporting the peace treaty as he sees it to be, because for him it's personal. So he's become an anti-Semite. I understand that. But the Rebbe spoke about Jimmy Carter many times in a very favorable way. Do you think the Rebbe agreed with Jimmy Carter on everything? Of course not. But he spoke on issues. The Rebbe didn't speak on people. The Rebbe never said who to vote for. Never. Not in America, not in Israel, not in any place else. The Rebbe said you have to vote. The Rebbe said I vote in every election. The Rebbe voted in every election. They used to bring the ballot to him. The Rebbe voted in every election. He's an American citizen. You have to vote. You have to vote. But he never took a position on politics. Never. The Rebbe spoke about prayer, but that's not about politics. It's about religion. That's about his business. When Kennedy was killed, there were twice. In the 60s, the Rebbe spoke about it, and then in the 80s again. I feel personally that if you're a rabbi and you go into politics, you have to hand in your badge. They're a contradiction. You have to think about politics. The world is governed by politicians. Politicians have a lot of power. They make decisions, they give direction, they lead the country by following what the people want them to do, blah, blah, blah. A lot of power. But politics is about making deals. You cannot be a politician if you're a principled person. It'll destroy you. Now, politicians have a shittas. So they have to decide what of my shittas is important enough to me hold on to, and what am I willing to trade to get your vote in the Senate so I can have a majority so that I can get my policies passed. Jimmy Carter was a bad president. You know why? Because he didn't know how to make deals. He believed in something, he fought for it. The fact that the Congress didn't agree with him, he just fought. You have to make deals. Ronald Reagan was probably the simplest president. Intellectually, Robert Reagan was the least smart of a president in my lifetime. And Carter was brilliant. Carter was almost as smart as Obama. The smartest president in my lifetime was Obama. And Kennedy was smarter than him. Kennedy was a really smart man. Kennedy was a great man. But Kennedy was in fact a great human being. And he saved, Derech HaTeva, he saved the world from World War III. He really did. But Carter he had IQ 100, he was a genius, very smart guy. But he didn't know how to play the game. You know what Reagan did? Reagan was such a right-wing Republican, he made fun of Democrats, he put them down. Once a week he got together with his enemies to drink whiskey and tell dirty jokes. With the head of the Democratic Party in the Senate and in the House. He was the best politician around. He was a schmoozer, he was a schmaltzer. He loved to make jokes and to waste time and to sit around, to rub shoulders. That's what politicians do. So we're not talking about the wasting time and the being a grub yung and telling dirty jokes, which all goes with the territory. It's about playing a game of how do I get what I want passed. Now, what's the truth? What's the practical truth? A Rav, a religious leader, teaches Torah. Not how much of Torah can I teach because how much you're going to let me teach. They're mutually exclusive. I understand there's room for politics. Politics is life and death. Don't kid yourself. If you're a Rav and you go into politics, you have to hand in your smicha, in my opinion. You cannot be a rabbi and endorse a candidate, lanias daiti. You can endorse an idea, but you can't endorse a person. Every person has good and bad. You stand for religion. How can you agree with everything he says? If you endorse a governor because he provides these services, but that governor supports abortion, you're supporting abortion. How can you do that? For example, there are a lot of Rabbanim who are deeply involved in politics, even Rabbanim who are in politics. I think you can't be both. That's personal, my opinion. And the Rebbe was very careful about that.